October 9th, and the Yankees have won Game 3. It was a close one. There was a firefight. Let's talk Yanks.
Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Recaps galore, weekly awards, stat lines, theme, and hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talking Yanks. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake. Talking Yanks with old John Boy and Jake.
Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks. Thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to recap Game 3 of the American League Divisional Series between the Yankees and the Royals. Jake will burn it, and then we'll talk about it. And I still haven't caught my breath, really.
Yeah. Thank God we're not recording a very different episode.
Oh, my goodness.
Scary moments in that game. Thanks to everyone that joined us in the live stream. Crazy, had a big crowd tonight. If you haven't joined us, you got to come check it out. Yanks win Game 3 in Kansas City.
The end result was beautiful. And there's a lot of good.
There's goods.
There's on the pitching side in San.
There's bads, but there's goods. They won a game they needed to win.
It was awesome. It was tense. I don't know if it was awesome. It's awesome they won that game.
It's awesome they won that game.
My goodness. Let's get this burn. I got to remember what happened.
Game 3 in Kansas City with Seth Lugo hoping to become KC royalty following his special season, while Clarke would hope to Schmidt down the throat of Royals fans. Scoreless into the fourth. G-Unit, this is how he do. Stanton loves October. RBI double into the fifth. Soto, sac fly is underrated, but the Yankees leave some ducks on the pond, and KC goes duck hunting. Jason Kyle Isbell is the problem. RBI double. Michael gets the masses on their feet with a game-tying triple. Like a good night out, we're tied up at 2. It stayed that way into the 8th. Cardiac Clay was nailed. So was Tommy Tight Pants. Hit the music. Giancarlo. Let the rhythm take you over, Giancarlo. Te quiero. Playoff homers. He makes Chris his boo bitch. 4:17 to left. And to close it off, Luke is unbelievable. Clarke to Holmes to Kahnle to Weaver. Yanks win. 3-2 final.
Oh, my goodness, dude.
PG-13, folks. Why don't you guys go to booking.com, maybe book your trip to KC tomorrow. It'd be tight. It'd be tight. Hopefully, we get to look at maybe booking a future series. If you're going anywhere in the beautiful United States, book it through booking.com. Hotels, bed and breakfast, vacation rentals, resorts, and so much more. On booking.com, whatever you're looking for, they have it. They can make you a fan of any U.S. city, even your rivals. Book today on booking.com and download the booking.com app. There's a link in the description. Where to, Hoss?
Well, first and foremost, I got to throw it to my best friend, The Weave, because Diz post-game interviewed on the field, and we didn't get to watch it. I got you what you're saying.
And a big part of tonight's win, when he hits that home run, what is the feeling like back there in that bullpen as you see it fly over the left field ball?
Yeah, it was fun to watch it soar over us. I always take a quick look at the exit velo just to make sure they get it as confirmation, but until it goes out, you never know what's going to happen, but huge boost. I mean, that guy goes down and gets it. He gives us the boost we need, and from there, it wasn't about excitement. It was about determination, focus, and shutting down the door.
You guys are just one win away from advancing. How do you keep the momentum going into tomorrow?
Just clean baseball. Just do what we did today. Keep it as clean as we can. Opportune, sack flies. The bunt was huge.
All right, so this is on-field interview Weave.
Right.
That's not the good. My bad. It's not
okay.
in the clubhouse Weave when he's in the street clothes. Because I was whatever. I like that he's still calm. All right, where do we start, Jake?
We can start with the start. you know.
Clarke.
Clarke was good.
Yeah.
Clarke was good. It's tough it has to end that way. The infield single that, if Volpe gives his A play 2 out of 10 times, he makes that. If he rifles the throw, it's a tough play. It's a really hard play.
Yeah, he's shifted up the middle. It's a slow roller. He's got to throw it fast. It would have beat him with a good throw, but it's a tough play. I'm not upset about him not making that play, and I don't put it into a bucket of it proves anything or it lends itself to any narrative that he didn't. The little humpback whale that he had a beat on.
Big play.
That's a big play. And again, I don't think that took incredible skill, but just like that first step, he was right there.
Yeah. I think there'd be some shortstops that ball would drop and you wouldn't even think about it. Pasquantino hits a single up the middle center. What can you do? I think that was a nice play that a plus defender at shortstop makes, a not plus defender at shortstop doesn't make.
Yeah.
It's tough that his final line for Clarke lands where it does. It lands at 4.2, 2 earned runs. The Isbell ball felt like it defied gravity. It was just a fluid lefty, Ohtani-ish swing that we were wondering, is that going to be fair or foul? Is it going to hit the line? It hit the wall.
Yeah, it kept going. It was a nice swing. I wasn't upset about that pitch from Clarke, really, because it was so outside.
Right.
That he went and drove it. The final pitch that knocked Clarke out of the game got way too much plate. And I also think they had just seen the cutter too much at that point. It was really good. So I'm not upset with Clarke's start at all. I wish it ended better because for up until, that last batter even, I'm like, whatever, this is great. Just that one pitch, I thought he got too much plate. But he threw the cutter 37% of the time. He threw 37 cutters 52% of the time.
Yeah.
That might be his highest.
And I feel like it was even heavier earlier.
Yeah.
I feel like his second time through or later in the game, he drifted away from it. I mean, I forget if it was a Melendez at bat. I couldn't believe he was spamming the cutter. But it was a good pitch for him. And I think he had a little extra playoff juice that cutter was coming in 95 a couple times. That's a tough pitch. That's 95 with run the other way.
In the 5th inning, he only threw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of how many pitches he threw. But in the 4th inning, he threw all cutters, basically. Yeah. I liked what we got from Clarke. First playoff start on the road, absorbed all of that, got through their lineup. The first couple innings he got through.
Kept zeros on the board until the Yankees scored.
Yeah. He's not one of my players of the game, I don't think.
Right.
That we'll agree on later, but I'm happy with his outing.
Top three of the game.
I thought it showed some gusto. Now, if you want to make a later run, deeper run, into if we advance to the next round and the next round, you need him to get through the third. You need him to get a little more, especially so.
Yeah, this was a Game 3 playoff game with 2 off days in the past 3 days. So with the Yankees only having 2 on the run on the board at that point, and a pivotal playoff game, 71 pitch, he wasn't getting another batter. If it was 5-2, it looks a little prettier. It was really close to being 5-0. So that's kind of where all that's coming from.
Yeah.
I think Stan's first double, because this is before he does something else. The viewing experience was kind of ruined.
They've been brutal.
Because it was Soto running, and you're Stanton pieces that ball. Sure, it's a big outfield, but...
They cut to Stanton jogging into second.
Right.
Which all the viewers are like, Stanton, go. They're going to throw to second.
Right.
And then you realize they threw over his head, so that's why he's jogging. And then they cut to Soto, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
It was just, it's just, we're not listening to the audio. And so I'm not ripping on the announcers because I haven't really heard a lot of it. But the directing has been god-awful. They're late to every pitch. And then they don't show the proper sequence of pitches to let the audience know what's going on.
There's a lot of little stuff,
And
too,
they wrote double DBL on the bug, and that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
That was odd. They show the batter in the lineup after like 2 pitches. Like if you think that's deemed to be shown, start the at-bat with it. Anyways, so Stan gets that double. It's the first run in a playoff game. That's absolutely massive. And Stanton, I feel like he's had a lot of balls in the dirt to short. So for him to elevate one off the wall, I think homer in 13 ballparks, it's like, okay, like maybe Stanton can be the guy. Tease. The other thing that becomes of note before I think the fun stuff to bring it home, the Yankees, a lot of action on the bases in that 5th inning. Volpe singles to center. Volpe's at-bats have been incredible.
Yeah.
A show that people have criticized how tough we've been on young Anthony. His at-bats have been kind of the advertised Anthony Volpe, which, hey, if we get it in October, that's what we care about. And we'll get to future seasons. Oswaldo with a 4-pitch walk, sure. Verdugo with a sack bunt that maybe he shouldn't have even been allowed to do because his first bunt attempt was horrible, and then he took what should have been a strike, but got called a ball. But he ends up laying down a nice bunt, sure. Glaber walks, so it's bases loaded, 1 out, Soto and Judge, which, like, obviously dream world, you'd say 0 outs, but this is going to be most likely your best chance to score in the game. Soto hits a fly ball to middle to deep center that's easily going to score a run, good. But then Judge flies out. And at that point, Judge ain't been judging.
Nope.
And it's been the storyline.
Did we pass the Glaber foul ball?
Yes.
Because I still want to see a better replay of that.
Yes.
Infuriates me that when they show the replay truck, they have the angle right down the line, and they can't just give that to the broadcast. When later on they show some in-camera, in-stadium feeds. Because it did look like some white shit popped up.
It's just crazy, dude. I mean, yeah, there was one side angle that I was very skeptical of because it was from right field, but it looks like material flew up that was not grass. And then, when they showed the replay room, they had it down the line that they used for a later replay, coming from behind home plate. It's tough. I think if that's called fair, they don't have evidence to overturn that. So, I don't know. Was feeling weird early on.
It's just bad vibes. I didn't like it.
Right. There was a lot of...
Every inning, the Yankees had runners on, and then they stranded them. That's been the story of the series. So, thank God Stan came through.
Yeah, and there were some hard hit balls earlier. Soto in the first inning. Was that a homer in 24 parks or some shit? We did another one with another fly ball like that. There were a couple good swings, but there were 0 results. The Royals have that bounce back inning. There's the ball on the line that doesn't get called. There's a lot of these moments that, when you have one of your players getting the crowd rowdy talking about luck, you're starting to feel not so hot about things.
Let's see. Soto's first was a home run in 17 ballparks. His first inning fly out.
Judge lined out to short in the first.
Yeah, that was a nice piece of hitting.
swing.
And then he put one to the track, right?
Right.
So he did have better results or better contact, but at some point, let's get some results. I'm sick of that narrative.
Right.
And then if you want to talk about Jazz for a little bit, he's another he's doing some crazy shit that is I'd never seen someone put himself out there to be set up for a backfire so bad. I hope it doesn't. I mean, he didn't really come through today. He made one play at third that was nice, where he gunned him down. But in the one at bat, he strikes out looking on a pitch right down the middle and turns to the ump. It's where was that? It's dude, that was right down the middle, Jazz.
Jazz was calling his own game. There was a couple borderline pitches that he called balls and the ump actually gave him.
Nope, that's high.
And then there was a crazy ball low that the ump called a strike that it was what are you two up to right now? It felt like the Jazz and the umpire were playing their own game for a minute. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys that it feels like they're doing get me to the next series, which I would love to if you guys get us to the next series. Wellesley with some tough at-bats. Jazz with some tough at-bats. That Judge.
Volpe and Oswaldo good at-bats today. And Stanton.
Yes.
Wellesley with some, his first at-bat, 1, 2, 3, out. Next at-bat, 1, 2, 3, out. Then the third one, he's like, I'm not that. I can't have that happen again. So swings at the first pitch at an inopportune time to swing at the first pitch. Yeah, I mean, the offense had 4 hits and Stanton was 3 of them. So it kind of speaks for itself.
Yeah. I think the next credit that has to happen, because it sets it up, Clay Holmes, man. A popular conversation piece during this season. He's been the go-to, kind of first man out of the bullpen. He has another strong outing.
We talked about the pitching path to victory in the pregame show a little bit, and I had said, well, Clay Holmes is a 7th inning guy. He's the third one. So if you're counting backwards, it's Weaver, Kahnle, Holmes. Now, when he came out in the 5th inning to get one out, I didn't think that those 3 guys could get you to the end of the game.
Right.
But I credit those 3 guys and Boone, because I was, besides Clay coming back out, which, maybe I'll start trusting him now. He's been good in the postseason. Sinkers. He 0 swings and misses, but outs. And Kahnle looked much better today. I was in, and we were on the stream in lockstep. Yep, Kahnle looked gross. Bring him back out for the lefty. Then bring in Weaver to get the 5-out save and go through the heart of their order. Weaver did give up 2 hits after replacing Kahnle, so it got a little scary there, especially when Salvi hits that pitch, or Yuli, who was it? No, Salvi hits a pitch to bring Yuli up with Witt on third.
Yeah.
That was a very scary time, and he gets him to pop up. Even some of the pitches Weaver made in the 9th were a little too fat for me, but they popped him up, so that's great. But yeah, I agreed with, there's no decision here I didn't agree with today from Boone and the managers and the coaches.
Yes. And yeah, I think, we talked a lot about Michael Massey, how this could be a big series for him. He's leadoff lefty, Yankee Stadium, all that stuff. Melendez hits a homer in that first game. Luke Weaver, who's going to get more love in this episode when we talk about the top 3 players, I would guess.
Good guess.
This is kind of a good stadium for Luke Weaver. You know what I'm saying? KC's a big old outfield that when he gets beat, it's the opposite of Clay Holmes. It's going to be one swing that, and it's a Kansas City lineup that's not built on that. So yeah, it's pretty. I mean, Luke with 1.2, Kahnle 1.1, Clay with 1.1. That's, going past that inning got you another reliever outing. So that's massive.
Yeah. He opened up by walking Witt, kept throwing sliders away.
Hey, none of my business.
And then, but then the first pitch to Vinny Pasquantino was a ball. So you're like, oh man,
right.
What is, this is not good. It's first and third then. And then he gets him to pop up on a sinker, which is a little odd result for the sinker.
So that's funny. Clay Holmes threw 16 pitches this outing. He threw 2 sweepers, and they were to Bobby Witt far off the plate in the first at-bat. Everyone else got the sinker, and that's what used to make Clay Holmes good.
Yeah. Throw that one. Good pitch. I tweeted that out and said thanks to Asanya, and he responded, said thanks for the shout-out.
Thanks, Joe.
And then Kahnle.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy looked good. We in his first outing of the postseason, everyone was kind of like, it wasn't sharp. He was missing targets. He was kind of flying off the mound. It looked like a reliever it looked like an energy-filled reliever that had extra rest. And he looked good today. I mean, those Royals lefties that they pump the lineup filled with, that's a good matchup for Tommy.
Have you seen his pitch chart?
I have not.
Tommy Kahnle came in and threw 13 pitches. He threw 13 changeups. Throw that one good pitch.
I remember Was it last year that he did his interview and they were like, are you throwing the changeup too much? And it's my whole thing the whole time is if Kahnle gets beat with his fastball, they say, why didn't you throw your changeup? Don't get me wrong. You can mix in one or two, Tom. And he's thrown a couple good ones.
He did in the other game.
But it's a really good pitch. And they got a lot of lefties.
Yep. And no cutters from Weaver.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. It is a little bit of a third pitch.
He even wasn't into his changeup a lot.
He threw 3. It was all fastballs. Just fucking barrel, dude.
He's got to throw the changeup, right?
Worked.
Pitching's a weird thing.
He's got to face him again, maybe. All right. The official Talkin' Yanks 3 stars of the game brought to you by...
3 stars are brought to you by DraftKings. After 162 games, it's finally time for some October baseball. Get in on all the playoff action at the DraftKings Sportsbook. And right now, wow. New customers who bet $5 instantly get $200 in bonus bets when you use code YANKS. Think about that. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code YANKS. Bet just $5 on any wager. Get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code YANKS only at the DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right. I'm going to nominate mine.
Okay.
I'll nominate Stanton.
That's a good one because we haven't even really spoken about the homer yet.
Or the stolen base, which BBD says he has John Sterling's radio call of, which
please.
I need to hear.
Volpe. Stanton goes. How do you like that? And he steals the base. How do you like that? Is that something? The last guy you'd think would steal the base. Well, Kansas City wasn't playing him.
Well, I'm sure that's why he went. No one's going to expect me to run.
So, Giancarlo at second with 2 out. It'll be a 2-1 to Volpe.
Oh, man, that makes me feel good to hear him talking.
How do you double? How do you like that?
How do you like that? How do you like that? Talk about it. Everybody's talking about it. Yeah, because now I threw this out there as a talking point. I didn't want to pinch hit him. Sure. I said I agree, but it is an interesting talking point in a close game.
Pinch run in the 6.
Pinch run in the 6. He's at first. He can't score. This might be your chance. Do you do it? And everyone, you, Joe's chat. I also said I agree with you, but I do think it's kind of crazy. It is a question. And Stan says it's not a question. I'll just steal. That was cool.
In the 7th inning, it would have been much more of a discussion, and I think as we saw, the answer is still unfortunately no. Like even though a lot of the Yankees, we need more of the Yankees lineup to pick it up if we need to go. A day like today, Giancarlo Stanton was the guy. It's one of the things that's been a rolling conversation since the start of Talkin' Yanks. I started listening in 2018. Well, subscribe to the YouTube right now if you haven't.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We like you. Sorry I got aggressive. Yanks. G is a threat, except like his end of 2022 or 21 when he was completely broken. Giancarlo Stanton is a threat. There's going to be some ugly swings. Sometimes it's going to feel bizarre. There's going to be some tough base running moments where you're like, what? But tonight was the example. And he does it off a lefty, which that used to be a strength. And the numbers this year ended up being weird versus lefties. And in that at-bat versus Bubic, Jim, I know you noted it. He's got a 2-1 count. It was 2-0.
Yep.
He gets a 2-1 slider high that was like, I don't know if that was a mistake or whatever, but
2-0 slider high, right?
Yeah, 2-0 slider high, and everyone's weirded out by it. Like, I think even Bubic was probably weirded out by it because I don't think that's the pitch ever. Slider for a ball low, and that is a little bit in Stanton's happy zone. Like, he can get to that ball and do damage. The next pitch, slider, also probably down, but it was a little more in that Stan can just drop the bat head on it. And, I mean, he was, when you look at Soto, Judge, Stanton, those are guys that you look for the game-changing swing. Like, I think it's pretty funny right now. And this isn't shots fired. Well, it's not shots fired to Volpe, Cabrera, and Verdugo. But when those guys come up, you're basically hoping single or walk. Like, in playoff baseball, I'm going to be excited when I'm wrong. Like when Oswaldo puts one on the porch, let's go. If Volpe does it, sure. But it's funny when you see Judge, Soto, and Stanton, those guys have to do the damage, and G did it tonight. 3 out of the 4 hits, dude.
You've been waiting all season for someone to have a game and take over.
Have a game.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. He's just a very good postseason hitter. Can lock in. It's cool. So he's the 1 star of the game.
He is the 1 star of the game. Number 2 has been discussed, but I'll let you.
No, I threw out Stan first. So,
well, Luke Weaver.
Yeah.
I was just gonna tee you up, Jim. He's your guy. He's been your guy since like the first series of the year. We already talked heavy fastballs, kind of wild. But the dude is nails.
I like how calm he stays. His ability to keep the adrenaline in check and then dump it has been impressive. Because when he dumps it, he's hooting and hollering.
Sure,
he's screaming. Yeah, he's the 2nd star of the game.
Yeah, and I know everyone. So what we could hear from the broadcast, there's a lot to not like. Luke Weaver is like, if you have big Yankee dreams, which we all do, we're listening to Talkin' Yanks, the story of Luke Weaver gets more cool with each playoff series. Like, dude was a failed starter.
Yeah.
For a while.
Statistically, he was one of the worst in the league for a while, right?
Yes. For 8 years. For 8 years, Luke Weaver was one of the worst starting pitchers in baseball. He came to the Yankees off of waivers, got 3 spot starts. We laughed because he was like listening. Remember the whole thing? He was learning from Garrett Cole, and we were like, okay, Luke Weaver, good, trying to earn that contract, huh? and then they did, and we were like, wait, is Luke Weaver going to be our 5th starter this year? He had a weird contract with out appearance bonuses, with start bonuses. And now he's our closer. The stats on the season are disgusting, and it lives up to it.
It's awesome. Like I said, some of those fastballs scared me in the 9th there, but I'll allow it, and I like it. Now, when it comes to the 3rd star, I have 3 options, and 2 might split their own vote.
So I was gonna throw out, the 3 stars of the game that everyone talks about. Let me double check.
We did 3-6 last time.
I think I have a tie for 3rd.
I have someone I want to give it to, but it's maybe the roundabout one.
Okay.
Because the tie, I have the tie between 2 similar guys as far as skills, as far as helping the team out.
The tie for 3 I have is between 2 guys who have drawn similar ire from us in different ways.
Oh, okay. So you don't have Kahnle.
I don't.
Okay.
He gets bottomed of the order a little bit.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, okay. So I'm with you with the tie, because I'm gonna go with the guy, the shorter of the 2.
Okay.
Because we could talk it out.
Okay.
But because in a game where all of his brethren performed rather poorly, besides the one behemoth,
right,
he stood out.
Yes.
The taller guy, and if you guys have not figured this out, it's Clay and Volpe we're talking about. All the pitching was pretty good, but Volpe was the only other hitter I thought was bringing it every time he stepped in the box. He didn't have one off. He got 1 result. He did score a run. He walked twice and he got 1 hit, 1 for 2 with 2 walks.
Yeah.
But if you look at the at-bats, his first at-bat in the 3rd, 4 pitches, that's probably his worst of the day, I think. Grounded out. In the top of the 5th inning, he was down 0-2, saw ball, all off speed, or breaking. And then 3-2, got a cutter in the zone. He hit it 103 miles per hour for the hit right up the middle. ends up scoring on that. Leadoff hitter, got on base. They were able to move him over with outs and another walk to score. So that was huge. And then he comes up after Stanton steals in the sixth inning, and he has an 8-pitch at-bat where he ends up walking. So that was another locked-in at-bat. And then when he came in at the end there, after Stanton homered, and I just was feeling good and energy was going, I felt like he was gonna like hit a rocket somewhere. I just really did. He ends up walking again with a 6-pitch at bat. So I my vote's for Volpe because I think he stands out amongst his coworkers.
I like it. I think the case there then Oswaldo gets a little screwed. Like Oswaldo, 3 walks and his one at bat that ends up happening was it was an 8-pitch full count battle where he lined out to center, following Volpe's at bat where he had an 8-pitch walk, and that's the one for me that's the eye opener. They bring in a righty out of their pen, probably their second best righty out of their bullpen, Schreiber, and Volpe just put together a great at bat. Battled, there's been a lot of these at bats during the season. You go, okay, like he's gonna overswing on a sweeper away, or he's gonna get beat on a fastball in, and he's just put together really composed, strong at bats. That I think Cabrera is kind of like what, but
C'est quoi? Also, it looks fine at first base.
Yeah.
Speaking of, Cabrera got interviewed after the game.
Fine at first base. The first guy in the cage.
Speaking of,
and we already know that guy can do something special this night, and he showed it.
All right, I got to stop with the on-the-field interviews. I've learned my lesson. They're still in boring mode. We'll wait till they get posted in the clubhouse. Did you see that tweet about how Oswaldo looks like Noel, the freestyle Italian singer?
No.
Oh, dude, it's one of the most uncanny doppelgangers.
Get on the screen. I love a DG.
I've seen.
Rapper?
No, a singer.
Okay.
But they call it freestyle singing, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Did you see it?
Okay.
Okay, so this guy's making the video, and he's saying, I've been trying to figure this out forever. Look at that.
Yeah.
Dude, that is one of the most insane. He's like, I've been trying to figure this out forever. All of a sudden, Noel comes on my screen. I'm like, oh, shit, that's him. What's that guy's account, Beebs? Can you say it to people listening?
Oh Marvelous World.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
What that shot from the music video of Noel singing looks just like Oswaldo. It's crazy.
I searched Noel Italian rapper before I knew that wasn't what to search, but the first thing that pops up is like, yeah, that looks like Oswaldo. How about that?
All right, we miss anything?
Well,
tomorrow's game, back-to-back games. Sure feels good,
right? Feels like baseball
after 2 in 9 days.
No, there's a couple lost Verdugo bats at the end there. That let's shape that up. Aaron Judge,
come on, Ben.
Garrett Cole with a chance to end it. After a mess start for Garrett Cole's standards. Let's go. Make the Royals feel hopeless for 7 innings.
So who's going for them? Is it going to be Waka again?
Believe it's Waka.
Yeah, I mean, they used Singer out of the pen.
Yep.
For 6 pitches. None of my business.
Okay, hold on.
Waka's
I think we got a badass Giancarlo quote. My last attempt.
Okay. Here we go.
Your career. What do you like most about playing this time of year? The weight of the moment. I mean, it's every pitch can be the deciding factor of your season. So every out, every pitch is accumulate of the 6-7 years of preparation for this. So you can't shy away from that. You have to understand that and embrace it and quiet it and get it done.
Dude, it's been so refreshing to hear stuff like that. Jeter's talking I think Jeter has really, you said this a little too, Jeter's been really comfy this postseason. I felt like he didn't know how much he wanted to let of his real personality or not.
Yeah.
Because he did a segment about the Yankees and he was like, everyone's expecting you to win. Like he goes, don't get it wrong. The Yankees are supposed to win this series. Right. They know that.
Yes. They're
expecting to win. And they got to get together. Like he's like, maybe the road trip will help them because they get to all go together, regroup as a team. He goes, but they got to get together and maybe score first, get something going because this is a big one. Yeah. And like just the tone he had was like so different than the mantra of the current Yankees besides Stan.
Different than the one-game playoff loss to the Red Sox was a success.
And that the losing to the Royals was whatever. They just got lucky.
It's weird. It's jazz. Jazz is jazzing.
And Boone today, like, yeah, we just got to keep doing our thing, and like it'll happen. No, dude, like fuck.
You gotta win.
Put pressure on yourself. Listen to what G just said. You got to understand that, and you got to quiet it, and you got to like be better because this matters way more. The results here, like he says, like affect your season. I don't think they think that. They think it's a crapshoot postseason. It doesn't affect your season, but no, it does.
And obviously this is an episode that highlights him, but Giancarlo Stanton, man, like there's past couple off seasons we've done. Are they going to cut him? Is there any way to trade him? You know, it really messes with the lineup when you got to DH him every day. He bounced back and he had a pretty nice year this year, and every Yankee fan was happy to have him today. Even your Uncle Tony, who's pretty tough on him.
Even your Uncle Tony. One question for you.
Sure.
As far as tomorrow, any change to the lineup? Do you move Stanton up behind Judge and move Wells, who struggled? Judge is getting a lot of pitches out of the zone that he can't even do anything with because they're still fine making him swing into a strikeout.
I think you leave it for tomorrow because this is the lineup that's won you the 2 games you've won.
Okay, and you're not just act like nothing's wrong.
Wells becomes an interesting conversation too. I told you during that, was it the 8th inning where Stan homers or the 7th inning? The 8th inning where Stan homers, Wells is in against Bubic. His at-bats have been tough. If Birdie had pinch hit, I would have been like, okay, we're playing playoff baseball. It's scary because Trevi defensively, even though he's a platinum glover with some of the Royals base runners, that gets a little nervous. But we're getting close to that. But
I can't have Trevi in late innings with this team against the Royals.
With another win, 2 out of the 3 games you've won with this lineup, do it again.
Okay.
And like
righty starter still tomorrow. They've been able to get the lefties to come in, and Stanton's getting to face some lefty relievers.
You don't have
and if
to.
Tomorrow goes bad, the next day's a lefty, and they had that lefty lineup all year where they did flip them.
Yeah, so. I mean, even if Wells and Jazz are both struggling, your win is Stanton seeing those lefties. So
we need Cole and Judge get it done tomorrow.
I mean, that would get everyone going.
Waka gave it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hard hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 1 homer in game 1. Glaber had the homer. Soto had a bunch of hits. All right.
Let's go.
Let's get it done. We'll see you tomorrow. 7,000 people, 7,700 people joined our live chat to hang out with us during the game and watch us stress and almost puke on ourselves. So if you haven't tuned in, and you want to check it out, it is a fun time, especially if you're just like, watching at home by yourself or just like
4K in here now. Let's go. Let's go Yanks.
Go Yanks. Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
5-0 Dodgers in the top of the 6th. We got a 2-2 count to Shohei. Estrada with his 27th pitch.
That in the counter description of this game?
Inside. That's going to run.